All right, thanks, Rachel. It is time for our Health Watch this morning. And as always, we are joined by our friend of the show, Dr. Syed Hussain of Trinity Health of New England. Good morning.
Morning.
So excited to chat about these topics this morning. A lot of folks are dealing with loneliness right now. As you know, we're indoors a little more and folks experience seasonal depression. But there is something called 531. It's a 531 rule that could help folks out with that. Can you explain what that is and how it works?
Yeah, let's put this into context for viewers. So we know optimum wellness isn't just the yoga mat or the plate on your dining table. It's also about nurturing and building those relationships, right? And one of the things we've learned from the pandemic was this epidemic of isolation and not being able to have those human-to-human interactions. We're social animals. Humans thrive on those interactions, right? So I really like this framework because it takes us back to having some sort of structure of how do we build those relationships? How do we nurture those social interactions? So the 531 framework is what I want to explain to viewers. It was put together by a Harvard-based sociologist, and the 5 stands for having at least 5 interactions, meaningful conversations with different types of people or social groups every week. So that could be, your acquaintances, it could be coworkers, neighbors, family members, friends, making sure that takes place. Mm-hmm. And the 3 stands for making sure you're having 3 deep conversations, meaningful conversations or discussions in a month, not just small talk, but something with people who you trust. Mm-hmm. And then the 1 stands for 1 hour of meaningful social interaction every single day. It could be bits and pieces. It doesn't have to be all 1 hour together. It could be a phone call to your brother. It could be talking to your neighbor. But the emphasis is on face-to-face or human interaction, not social media, not texting. So trying to get back to those basic elements.
Yeah, so you notice you just feel good after catching up with someone.
That's right.
All right, now our next one, there's been a lot of talk about protein, getting more protein with this new food pyramid that's come out. It's revised by the federal dietary guidelines. So can we break that down and maybe how people can find out how much protein they should get and what's considered too much?
Great question. So let's talk about the facts. So protein is a macronutrient present in every single cell of the body. It is critical, vital component of growth and repair for bone, for hair, teeth, tissues, organs. So extremely important building block for the body, right? For optimum health. Now, for decades, the guidance was 0.8 grams of protein per kg body weight. Is what is recommended on a daily basis. So for a 150-pound individual, it would be around 52 to 54 grams of protein a day. The new guidelines suggest a doubling of that. So what I would suggest is, make sure you have a conversation with your physician. If you are someone who is building muscle through either strength or resistance training, then there may be a case for that enhanced amount of protein per day. But if you have some underlying medical conditions that you may have to balance things out. That's why I say talk to your doctor or a nutritionist. There are elements of the new guidelines which are really beneficial based on evidence that we've been talking about, such as cutting down food items with saturated fat. Sugary drinks, refined sugar, all those things, ultra-processed food, cutting back on those, which we've discussed in the past on this segment as well, which are all good items.
Yes, so for those people who are in the clear to maybe increase their protein intake, would it be best to stick to whole foods rather than those high-protein snacks and 100%. Drinks? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and I hope you guys found that helpful. If you have a question you'd like us to ask the doc, you can email us at newstips@fox61.com. We're going to check back in with Brendan in the main studio.